The Brotherhood of Sleep is also what it's my nickname for my two sons, because they sleep.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
Time.
Are they hot?
Stay away from them. Hello! I am Robert.
And I'm Madeline.
Today we're going to talk about Prince of Darkness by John Carpenter from 1987.
Basically, it's about a research team who finds a vial of substance in a deserted church basement.
It's a big vial.
It is a big vial. If opened, it could mean the end of the world.
Dun dun dun! This movie. Now, I love John Carpenter.
Who doesn't?
I mean, I love him. He reuses a lot of the same actors in his films, and a lot of my favorites from other movies, such as Big Trouble in Little China. What may be my favorite movie of all time. They're in here. But this one did not do well in the box office.
No, it's spent like $60 million making it. We got like $26.7 million.
That's, by definition, not good.
Not fantastic.
Great.
If
you're going to get all quantitative, it's not good. However, I mean, I hesitate to use the term cult, but it did really well. So it came out in 87. So shortly after that, we were still in VHS and Blockbuster days back then, and it did really well when it came out in video for either rental or home purchase. So I don't know if he winded up making his money back or not, but it didn't do well in theaters, did well with the home viewing audience, and it kind of became a cult, popular horror film.
Really quick question. What is a VHS?
Really? I mean, there's parts of this film that I liked, but there's a lot of parts that I didn't like, and you're talking to a John Carpenter fan here.
What parts didn't you like?
Well, I didn't. So, I don't think it's spoiling it by telling you that it's evil goo that's inside the big cylindrical vial in the basement of the church.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it out, it's evil, right? It's Satan. Essentially, it's the devil. And there's a lot, big cast. Big cast. It's a huge, like, ensemble cast of researchers.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them become possessed pawns of the evil. I did not like the mechanism that they used to possess the people. So it's watery goo,
Mm-hmm.
and some of it leaks out of the vial. Okay, so now it's loose on Earth, finally. It's been imprisoned. In this story, this is like beyond biblical. It's actually based on H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos, where the elder gods, millions of years ago, ruled Earth and until some other race sort of kicked them out. So this, I think it's like 7 million years. This cylinder has been imprisoning the evil for 7 million years. Way longer than Christianity's been about. It's a Catholic church. They've just had the damn thing for the last 2,000 years. But it's way older than that.
Wow.
I mean, the method of, well, I'll just tell you. How does someone get possessed? They get shot in the mouth by the goo.
I have a question, Robert.
Yes.
If the bread you eat at church is the body of Christ,
Mm-hmm.
then the goo that gets squirted into your mouth at church is what part of Satan?
The jizz?
Super soak that hoe.
But if they did it okay on camera, I'd be fine with that. So they have a beautiful practical effect of the green goo with lights in it. It's actually pretty attractive looking in the basement.
Lava Lamp-esque.
It is like a sideways kind of lava lamp. But when the people get possessed, they basically are just shooting them in the face with a super soaker filled with water. And it's not even green water. It's just water.
Plain water.
It's
almost like a baptism.
That's actually how I was baptized. I remember it well. But it's cheap special effects. It's just like, okay, squirt them in the face with the water, and then we'll make them possessed. Like, you couldn't do better than that? There's one scene towards the end where somebody's getting I won't say who, they're getting the special treatment, so they're getting a lot of green, just goo.
There's a lot of goo going on.
In their mouth, like a lot of it. Mm-hmm. But everybody else just gets like, squirt,
You
squirt,
call that the
squirt.
money shot.
Yes. It's the porn term.
It's like being at hibachi. Whoosh, right in your mouth.
When I used to do porn back in the day, I had a special clause in my contract about the money shot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And that special clause was?
That I get paid a lot of money for that shot. The opening credits of this movie were 9 minutes long. It's cut in with some scenes where they kind of do introductory characters. But he shot it in just over 30 days. Quick.
Instead of like a typical type of horror film, he wanted this to be one of the first horror films to combine quantum mechanics and horror. And he really did a terrible job of it. It doesn't actually work out for him at all in the movie.
I agree.
So, yeah.
They talk a lot about quantum mechanics in the beginning. It's not in the end of the movie at all.
Doesn't matter
like
at
they
all.
forget about that.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of religion, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis from the Halloween movies,
Mm-hmm.
also John Carpenter films. He plays a priest. Victor Wong, who was Egg Shen in Big Trouble in Little China, he's in it. He plays a sort of a professor type.
Mm-hmm.
Love him. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. And there's a lot of all the other supporting sort of researchers. Not all of them, but, I recognize them all. They're all from that era, the 1980s and 1990s. They were, some of them were on Love Boat, and they did guest star appearances on a lot of other TV. You'll recognize these people. I don't know if I would say any of them went on to be, like, huge stars. Oh, except for the cameo. It's not really a cameo, but the singer, Alice
Cooper. Alice Cooper was directed by John Carpenter in this movie to act emotionless and brain dead, which is a really cool direction, but not actually something that John Carpenter needed to say, because if you've ever seen a single one of Alice Cooper's movies, that's actually the only way that they know how to act.
Yeah, Alice is a terrible actor.
Horrible. Really, really, really so bad. Really terrible stuff coming out of him.
There are no bosom alerts in this film.
The true tragedy. The
true
true horror.
There's a huge number of female supporting cast, and you couldn't work one bosom in there. I think that's crap.
Not even a singular boob.
It's 1987. It's more than 30 years old. That passes. You're beyond the Robert threshold of 30 years for a remake. I think somebody should remake it.
Due for a do-over.
And put some bosoms in.
More boobies, please.
It just makes it better.
It really does. It really makes the movie watchable.
Thank you.
The name that John Carpenter uses for the Holy Order of Goo is called the Brotherhood of Sleep, which I think is a really fun name for a wet dream.
It is. The Brotherhood of Sleep is also what it's my nickname for my two sons, because they sleep.
Oh, that's kind of
goddamn
sweet.
time.
Are they hot?
Stay away from them. The whole storyline here, you'll hear this from other people besides me. John Carpenter is good and likes to do siege kind of movies where, okay, this is our fort and we're being assaulted. This movie reeks to me of his earlier Assault on Precinct 13, which is another siege movie. That one is cops and bad guys. This one is scientists and boogeymen.
Something that cannot be explained by science.
Nor religion, apparently.
Nor John Carpenter, apparently.
At least not well.
At least not with any type of congruency.
Lines from the movie.
How did the Catholic Church end up keeping this a secret for 2,000 years? It's actually not a bad question.
I would imagine the same way they get their altar boys to keep quiet. I was an altar boy.
Oh, that doesn't shock me.
So Frank says, "You're out of your minds. This is a joke. This is caca."
Great word. Great use of the word caca.
I try to use caca daily.
It lacked congruency. It lacked consistency. I expected better from John Carpenter.
Good idea. Good premise. Not a great script. Not great effects.
Failure to execute. And for that, free pumpkins.
Hello! I am Robert.
And I'm Madeline.
We've been working very hard to bring you October Moviefest Countdown this year.
Really hard. But you have to watch all of them because at some point one of us shows our breasts.
And if you like October Moviefest Countdown, or all things Robert, you should subscribe to allmediatv.com because it's fabulous.